Well, look, this all began, Yvonne, about a month ago when a 20-year-old man, the son of a senior tax official in South Jakarta, he was arrested and charged with brutally beating a 17-year-old boy that some reports say was the ex of his current girlfriend. That young man is still in hospital recovering. The 20-year-old man, witnesses say, was seen going to the scene of the crime in a Jeep, in a very expensive Jeep. Now, this caused such an outrage that there was immediately a social media sort of campaign where a lot of people were venting that outrage. They then focused on where this young man got his wealth from, and then they realised that he was the son of the senior tax official. They then went to his social media posts and saw that the tax official, Rafael Alun Trisambodo, in fact, was seen with expensive cars, with expensive motorbikes, and his wife was posted with very expensive handbags and other designer goods. So there was an immediate suspicion as to where this tax official got all this wealth from. He was not exactly the Director General of the Tax Department. Now, that led to his removal from the position. The Finance Minister removed him, and an immediate investigation began by the KPK, the Anti-Corruption Commission, and the equivalent of Australia's AUSTRAC, the Financial Transaction sort of Tracking Authority. They actually went to a bank in South Jakarta and found a deposit box that was apparently in this tax official's name, and found something like $5 million worth of money in US and Singapore notes. And that, of course, has led to now a criminal investigation against that particular senior tax official. But it's gone from there. Even the Director General of the Taxation Department was also seen with posting with very expensive motorbikes. The Finance Minister actually ordered a certain motorcycle club to be shut down on the basis that there were tax officials in this club and so much questionable, lavish wealth or lifestyles that was being documented online.
Well, the official SF Haryanto went on the offensive and held a press conference about the allegations. What did he say?
Well, look, he was one of many other officials that have now been caught in this growing scandal. Every day almost there seems to be another official who's been targeted. You know, there are a couple of customs officials who've been found online to be flaunting similar wealth or similar ostentatious lifestyles. The SF Haryanto is in fact the regional secretary of Riau province in Indonesia, and his wife was posting photographs of herself with designer handbags, expensive shoes. Now, he called a press conference just this week where he was forced to deny, basically, that he was rolling in wealth. He actually declared that his wife's clothing and designer goods were fakes, that they were bought at Mangadua, a mall, a shopping mall in Jakarta that is known for selling fakes. He even produced the receipt for a pair of shoes, a pair of Gucci shoes that supposedly were fake, that was only for sale for about $150 or $200. But then another Twitter user, an anonymous user, sort of posted photographs suggesting that the shoes in that receipt were not the same as the Gucci shoes that she was wearing, and saying perhaps he had bought those shoes as evidence to take to the press conference. So this has snowballed from the original case in February, and in fact the Finance Minister has said that there's something like 69 officials in the Finance Department or the Tax Office who are considered high risk of corruption ultimately, that the wealth that they've documented in an annual personal wealth report that they have to submit to the department doesn't necessarily tally with some of the wealth or the ostentatious lifestyles that they lead. So there are several investigations going now into many different officials, and it's almost certain that that will increase to more and more officials as time goes on.
Well, SF Haryanto had, I understand, previously warned other officials not to lead hedonistic lifestyles. So what kind of track record do they have?
Well, I mean, that is exactly right. Just as this scandal was sort of unfolding, he was one of the officials who went online or told his staff in Riau not to sort of flaunt their wealth, which is something a finance minister has also done. And that was then just around then that he was also exposed for his wife's handbags and shoes. No doubt that led some of his own staff potentially or other people to look online to see what his social media account was like. I mean, this is very much a social media campaign. There are so many officials now who have accounts, or their wives or their husbands and families are known, that people have been able to go and find just, what people have been documenting online. And no doubt in the last few weeks there have been many officials, not just in finance or tax, who've been removing a lot of photographs from those accounts.
And how have leaders in the country responded to all these claims?
Well, look, President Joko Widodo this month ordered a crackdown into people who flaunt this supposed wealth online. He's now banned public servants or civil servants from flaunting their wealth online, because it does lead to questions of corruption. It does lead to suspicions that they've obtained that money fraudulently or through bribes. I mean, that's certainly what the investigators suspect in the case of the senior tax official, that he has gained a lot of these, the millions of dollars that they found in his bank account, that they suspect he got that fraudulently. There have been orders for civil servants not to flaunt that wealth. And also the Finance Minister, Sri Mulyani Indrawati, has flagged more reforms in the tax department that she's yet to reveal what they might be. But she's also acknowledged that previous reforms have not been enough, potentially, to stop corruption among her staff.
Just finally, Anne, what has the Indonesian public had to say about this? There must be a lot of chatter online.
Well, that's right. This is all online, and it's just taken off in the last few days. Some of these threads with photographs that have been pilloried, if you like, have hundreds and hundreds of responses. One of the former chair of one of Indonesia's biggest Muslim organisations, Nahdlatul Ulama, he just this month also suggested that ordinary taxpayers should, boycott the tax system and refuse to pay their taxes if it turns out that a lot of this money has been gained fraudulently. So there is real resentment, real anger at the corruption that is indicated here, and also the inequality in wealth. I mean, some reports suggest that the disparity in wealth between the very rich in Indonesia and the very poor, which is most evident here in Jakarta, has doubled in the last 20 years, and that's something that obviously fuels a lot of this campaign.
A lot of online debate there. And Barker, thank you.
Thanks, Yvonne.